Hello everyone, Chrisa Assis here, and today we are working on ochos, but we're not just keeping them moving in one specific path. We're also changing the angle of the pivot, and that's where sometimes things get a little bit difficult. But the important thing is to create a situation in your practice that helps you work on things that happen on the dance floor. For example, oftentimes we practice our ochos against the wall, and we're going from left to right, left to right, left to right, and well, all works great after a couple times that you practice it, and it's also a good way to practice. But the problem is, it after a little while, after you stop dancing with beginner dancers who stick to patterns, to stick to patterns and to steps, then you'll find that the more advanced your partner is, the the expectation of an endless flow, a continuous movement in your dance, and um, more traveling ochos than really left and right, but progressing ochos of changing angles that will allow you to move down the dance line, around the dance line, and left and right, all directions, into a gyro, out of a gyro, all these things happen all the time. And if you don't practice in this way, things will be quite difficult. So the idea here is to go from baby ochos, really small ones, traveling ones like we did last week, to bigger ochos, and back to smaller ochos. So, with no further ado, off we go. Use your walks here to warm up the body, get ready for the ochos that are coming up, but also to help yourself to find a comfortable pace. So we don't have any music. Of course, you can add music if you want to, but find the rhythm of your breath and notice how that allows you to step on a certain beat that feels comfortable for you. So it is important to tune in a little bit, to listen a little bit more closer on the natural rhythm that our body has. So find that through your steps, through your walks, and use it in the ochos to come. We're adding here a cross. Now, a lot of you have seen this cross used as an embellishment, but we're not using it here as an embellishment. Feel free to do that on the dance floor. Here we're using it to start a little bit, adding just a tad of disassociation, so then we can get right into quarter pivots. So when you are doing this, you want to be as accurate as possible and to manage your exit like I'm doing here. The important part is not, going fast or making really big angles or, anything like that. The important part is to be consistent. Choose an angle. Maybe it will be smaller than the one I'm doing. It's not important. That's not important. But don't make it bigger than a quarter. Choose an angle, be consistent, so try to hit that angle every time, and manage your exit. So here we're building up the pace, we're building up the disassociation with a cross. We reach our point where the pivots are going to be happening. Find your axis and start the pivot. Hit one angle, then the next, then the next. Back to center, settle if you need to, take a few seconds, and then exit. Try not to stop. So that's the important part. See if you can manage a smooth transition between the two, between pivoting and stepping, because that's a very important element to good quality ochos. I'm doing this here for 4 times, 2 for each leg, and I'm alternating in terms of pivoting. So what we just saw is standing on my right leg, I'm turning towards the right. I'm standing on my left leg, I'm turning towards the left. And this time, as you will see, I will be changing things up. I will be going in the opposite direction from the foot I am standing on. So forward ochos to start, underlying the forward ochos, and this one was underlying the back ochos. So go in both directions and make sure that you're doing your pivots on both feet, so you're not overusing one foot compared to the other. So traveling ochos, we did those last week as well. It's your introduction. So find your pace, find the way to address the limitations of the room, because that's important. Make sure that you are very much aware of the space around you, because that's going to be very important for what we're doing afterwards. Plus, it's important on the dance floor. And we want to be able to manage to go towards the front and towards the back without bumping into anything. Being very much aware of how we direct our steps through our pivots. And here the fun stuff will begin. We'll start with adding a back cross in our traveling ochos. And when you reach the end of your path, you're gonna make these forward ochos bigger. So instead of traveling towards the front, you're gonna make a nice big turn and then go from left to right. What I want you to aim for is not speed, is smoothness. A smooth transition between traveling and stationary, basically, type of ochos. Adjust, find your axis again, and go back to traveling backwards this time. So we're going from traveling ochos to let's say stationary ochos. I mean, we're still moving, but we're not changing our full position in space. So let's see. You start. You use the pace that you worked on in the previous exercise. Don't change your pace. Don't go any faster. Don't let that cross stress you out. On the contrary, use the cross to prepare for that bigger twist. It gives you a little bit of extra disassociation to work with. Settle here. Don't rush into it. When you're ready, you take that step. Every time, if you need to adjust between ochos, go for it. Oh, I'm adding a little cross here. You can do that too if you want. And then when you're done with that, find your axis again, settle, and then go. So in both transitions, we don't want to rush through. We want to find our axis, see if there's any adjustments that we need to make them, and then start to move. Just try to be as smooth and as elegant as possible when you're doing